lie, y'all. She was a straight gold digger, bro. Yeah, she got a body, but at the end of the day, she's a gold digger. And that's just that, bro. That won't change. She a gold digger. Subscribe to the channel, man. We're fishing on the road to a million. Let's get it. Let's go. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. She big. She looks good as hell. How you doing? What's your name? She really got a name. I'm looking. Can't say my name. What you mean you good though? What's your name though? I ain't trying to be weird now. I feel like you look amazing, so I had to come say something to you. You know what I mean? That's how you basically doing me. That's right. Oh, I got it. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. You mean by that? Talking about what? I was just trying to give you compliments, trying to have this conversation, you know, this shit, right? Why? What's the difference between you and me? Okay, what about putting in that card? For what? I'm asking. For what? You don't even know me. What's my name? Exactly. But you want to get proud of somebody who you don't even know their name. So what's really want the reason why she looks good? You look good. You look 360.
Excuse me. Hey, 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 it's me, girl. I princess you, back with another one. Back with another one. Back with another one. Hey, back with another one. Woo-hoo. Yes. Welcome back to my channel with your girl High Priestess Unicorn. I'm here to do a story time. And firstly, on how I became aware that the family I was placed in was a family of dark witches and warlocks. Clearly, I was the black sheep, evidently. So, from an early age, not only was I treated differently, I also felt differently. And of course, as you can expect, the usual happens, isn't it, with families like that? You're made to feel a certain way, like you don't belong. 9 times out of 10, you're the scapegoat. You get the blame for anything that goes wrong, whether it be in the house or something to do with them individually. My siblings would do things deliberately, knowing full well I would get the blame. And do you know what's crazy, collective? Even when they admitted doing whatever it was that they did, my parental figures found it hard to accept it, which really baffled me. So, of course, I would speak up for myself, which made the physical punishment worse. It was always an argument between me or whatever partner my parental figure had. I don't understand how they would make the child the problem. Like, I don't want to live in a house with this child, but there's four of us, so make that make sense. Well, there's three of us at the time. Then one of the parental figures decided to have a child, two more children. So then I had two more half siblings. And then I even believed stupidly, maybe when they were born, uh, their attention would be focused on the new additions to the family. Boy, was I wrong. I just had more jobs to do. So not only did I have to pay um, supportive child, I had to be the one going to the shop, the one doing all the housework, as well as getting the blame for everything, helping your parent around the house, did all that, and I was actually the living babysitter, as well as my siblings. So not only did I have to look after my baby brother and sister, I had to look after my other sibling. Because the eldest sibling, lucky for her, went to live with my grandmother. And to be quite honest with you, I don't blame her. I don't blame her. She wanted to get away, but she went to live with my grandmother. So we'd only see my grandmother on the weekend. So it's like you're getting two lots of punishment, kind of like whatever you got blamed for, you already had the punishment from within your house. And when we talked about my nan's house on a Friday, obviously they would have a little meeting in the special room, which we wasn't allowed in. And then my mum would just leave, not even no goodbyes, no kisses, no hugs. They got it though, but I didn't. So already I was used to being separated and segregated and isolated. And even in this isolation, if any of my siblings got caught, like being nice to me or even trying to give me treats or anything like that, they would be punished for it. So what are you teaching the siblings? Is there no wonder they grew up to just naturally hate for no reason? Make that make sense. And the thing is, collective, the same way they put me down and blame me for everything and picked on me, teased me, they did that to their own peers also, but in a more subtle way, if that makes any sense. But with me, it was just blatant and outright. So yeah, I didn't really I wouldn't really say my childhood was great, but the fact that I got through it is testimony. And you would have thought once you grew up to adulthood, it was forbidden for me to speak about what was done. It was forbidden for me to speak about places I was left in. It's like I was left deliberately for something dangerous to happen to me. And that's really sad. But I never knew that the parental figure supposed to be to look after me was actually being paid by the government to just abandon me, basically. And I say me because it was only happened to me. It didn't happen to my other siblings, so there's a big difference. Had it did, I'd understand that. I remember my younger sibling went into care of me once, but she was back home within a month or so. I think it was 3 months tops. And I remember overhearing my mum in the meeting. And after that, she lied in my face about it. And I blatantly overheard them having a meeting. And I heard her say she didn't want me home. She blatantly didn't want me. And I think That in itself was a turning point for me because she didn't know that I heard. She didn't know that I heard. But either way, I heard with my own two ears. So even going through school, I excelled in school, mind, but I was never rewarded for any of my accomplishments. I didn't understand. Like even when I won awards, my awards was left on the podium where everybody else received theirs. And obviously in school, you don't want to get into no trouble, so I just didn't say anything. And I remember it's literally like once a year. Really, really funny because I probably go home for a couple of weeks at a time. But whilst I'm home, I'm expecting things to change or for me to be parented correctly. I never was. It's literally like I was taken home just to get the benefits, for them to get the benefits, and then I was discarded again. So I kind of picked up on that pattern. And as sad as it is, collective, I got used to it. I did. I got used to it. Don't get me wrong. It was never nice being placed in different children's homes. So I was never able to keep anything because it either got stolen or it got lost in transit, which I think was deliberate also. Sometimes when I was moved, I was never warned about it. Do you know what I mean? I'd either be woken up early in the morning to be told that I'm being moved somewhere else, or I'd be packed up in the middle of the night, which made no sense. And now thinking back, I believe it was corruption to keep me hidden, to keep their secrets a secret, basically. Because then all the trauma that they did to me, the child abuse, the child trafficking, the physical abuse, the mental abuse, psychological abuse of every kind. Just let's just say that abuse of every kind. They was hoping that it would destroy me. It didn't, but I did have a real deep resentment. Not even towards my siblings or anybody else that harmed me, to the people that were supposed to be my parental figures. Because they know what they done. Yes, the woman that says she gave birth to me, so say says she took that to the grave with her. Hence why someone else is now using her information and living their best life. This is what they do. Come to find out, I came from a Egyptian bloodline, a shamanic Egyptian bloodline. But the stepfather that came into my life, I remember I was around about 3 or 4 years old. I did not know he was a warlock. I never knew that. One thing I can say is the minute he came around, I started to have nightmares. Thinking back now, I believe I could see straight through him. And he didn't like that. Because I was always outspoken and he didn't like that. Children should be seen and not heard. That's what I remember my nan used to say, children should be seen and not heard. But that's not going to work in today's day and age. That's why so much abuse went under the radar. And even when I did speak up on what was going on, nobody listened. It's funny that because the same people that abused me as a child that are still trying to abuse me in my adulthood, regardless if they're doing it covertly, are the same ones. Of course, they must belong to a secret society because how else could they make up all these fake allegations and lies and slander just to steal inheritances from me? But yet they'll leave me and my children in poverty. Make that make sense. So everything in my life was orchestrated, basically. Being trafficked by my parents, being forced into situations what I would never have done. And it's like being blackmailed by your own parent. If you want to prove you love me, then you would do it. I raised you for all these years, so where's my compensation type thing? Like, what? And obviously, I was brainwashed, clearly. I was brainwashed and severely coerced. And even then, still, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough that they drugged me as a child to allow others to abuse me also. It wasn't enough that my own siblings would talk me about it, but I was forbidden to speak anything on it. And if I mentioned anything, they would beat me into submission, basically. Yeah. And that's a lot for any child to take. But I found my feet. And what I can contest to is I truly believe, because my granddad died when I was quite young. I believe to this day, collective, that he's been the one protecting me. Because there was times where I sensed like the little smell I used to smell that he would smoke and eat and stuff like that, and little things he would say, little nicknames he gave us that nobody else I've never mentioned to anybody. Just little things like that. So I just have to move something off my table. I literally just had some incense candles burning, and yeah, I think it was quite a big candle, and the little holder thing, I think it was melting a bit too quick, so the holder must have filled up, and it was bubbling over the side, so I had to clear that up. But yeah, so I have to excuse the little noise of the wind, because I have to open up the door to let somebody else. So yeah, where was I? So yeah, it was a horrific childhood, to say the least. Even the friends that I believed was my friends was actually being paid to like put me down type thing, and I didn't even realize it because I valued their opinion. So they was just basically taught how to coerce me into doing shit my parents wanted them to get me to do, but it was still going through them. And then when I least expected it, their parents had thrown them out through their own antics. And guess who put them up? The same parental figures that hated me. So that was really confusing. And the fact that they hid it from me, the only reason why I found out is because one of them, I won't mention the name just yet, one of them slipped up whilst he was talking. And I caught wind of it. And then she tried to gloss it over with some rubbish excuse because I'd been back home since then. So no one said a thing to me. So that was the thing, they was all lying. And these are people that I still remain friendly to up until the last few years. When I started to notice the same behavior. Do you understand? And I thought, there's a hold on a minute. After all I've been through, after all you've seen, And you was always both in a better position than me. Now I know why. You never gave me the support. You just wanted to know what was going on so you could go out there and slander me. And that's exactly what you did. Hence why when we did go out anywhere, you would act like you didn't really want me around or I begged you to come type thing. Which is why you find it so easy to just cut me off. But then when I picked up on the BS, I didn't slander you, I just cut you off. Now you want to feel offended. That makes absolutely no sense. The same people that I know for a fact are watching from fake accounts. And I really don't care because guess what? I'm doing me. And that's all that matters. The opinions of others has no impact or effect on my day-to-day life. Period. And the wickedest thing is the breadcrumb he was breadcrumbing me with does not compare to the loyalty and support I showed every single one of these people. So me not being in their lives, for me, is a bonus. Is an absolute bonus, and I'm glad because now God can do what He needs to do and hand out judgment to these people. But whilst I was still around them, that's why they wanted to keep me around them, so that they didn't get no karma. So basically, I was shielding them from their karma, and He was projecting it onto me. So I'm thinking I'm helping them. I should have never helped them. I should have left them in their own karma because they clearly did something wrong for why bad things was happening to them. But I never actually said it to them or actually thought that. I listened to what they told me and I believed them. And they all know there's no second chances. They all did far too much. And what they don't realize is everything they have done over the last almost 5 decades, now they got to sit for it. Now they got to sit for it. There's no amount of manipulation, magic, spell work, go to whatever practitioners you want. Nothing can shield them from the karma that's coming for them. The people that they took out, just so that they could steal their abundance from them, they're gonna get karma for that also. It's inevitable. The fact of the matter, the fact still remains, I survived. So now what's gonna be interesting, collective, is to see these people survive also. Only time will tell, huh? Only time will tell. Well, I will leave that at part one. Stay tuned for part two. It's gonna be Joseph.